Hi, good day everyone. Okay, so today we are coming to learn a very simple topic called connecting and communicating online. But before we begin today's lesson, let us do a quick recap about what we learned the last time. So the last time we talked about communicating. Okay, so the last time, as I said, we talked about what was called communication. And we said communication is the way or a process of sharing ideas, thoughts, or activities between two or more people or devices. So today we are coming to link it to our topic, which is connecting and communicating online. So it's all about how we can get connected online and also communicate online as well. How we will be able to communicate online. That's by sharing our ideas, our thoughts, our activities, and everything we want to do there. So that will be our topic for today's lesson. Let's move on. Okay, so our learning objectives for today will be one. We should be able to explain how data travels on the internet. Two, describe the function of IP addresses. Three, use web browsers and search engines. That's about how to use web browsers and search engines to search for resources and other information. And fourth one will be how to create and use an email account. And our last objective for today will be how we will be explaining mailing list. That you understand how mailing list works. So these are our lesson objectives for today's topic. Okay, so now let's begin with the introduction. So with the introduction, we talk about the internet. So we say the internet is a global network connecting millions of computers and devices, and also allows communication, information sharing, learning and business activities, and also provide access to online services and resources. So with the internet, we say it's a global network which connects millions of computers and devices, and when we get connected, we are allowed to share information, we are allowed to communicate, share business activities. And before we can get connected to the internet, we need to have an online services and resources, which is we need to get resources from our ISPs, which is our internet service providers, so that we will be able to communicate, or we can able to communicate online and share other business activities as well. So as we all can see from this picture is showing how these devices are connected to the internet using this planet, the Earth planet. So these devices are connected to this Earth planet. That's giving us the conceptualization of how when we get connected to the internet it looks like. So these devices get connected or are connected to the internet, and they are able to share information, resources, and business activities as well. So that's how this picture here is talking about or trying to convey to us. So let's move on. Okay, so now we will talk about how data travels on the internet as well. So before data travels on the internet, it first of all broken down into packets. So what then is a packet? A packet is a small piece of data that is sent over a network. So before data can travel on the internet, it is first of all broken into packets. Then the packet travels through different routes or different directions. So the route is the same as the direction that the packet travels through, and the packet travels through what we call routers. So then what then is also a router? A router is just a networking device that directs packets so that they will be able to reach their destination, as well as where the packet or that data is coming from. And when they get to its destination, these packets are reassembled at the destination so that the receiver will get the actual data that was sent by the sender, but rather not the packet which was broken, but rather not the data which was broken down into packets. Sorry. So this is how data travels on the internet. So let me show you with this video as we all can see, we have a sender, which is A, and the receiver, which is B. So the sender sends this information, and then the information or the data is broken down into packets, then passes through the routers. So these are the routers. Then it gets to the destination. So it's reassembled here before it gets to the actual receiver as the actual data that was sent. And when the receiver also send feedback, it goes through the same process as the sender did, or as the process the sender went through before it gets to the destination. So that's how data travels on the internet as well. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so there is an example of data transmission. Here is the next slide. So you take email. So let's say, assuming you want to send an email to your friend or anyone else. Email is first of all divided into packets, as I have already explained with the previous slides, and the packet travels across the internet with the help of the routers, and then when it gets to the receiver device, it then reassembles itself to the actual data, which here is the email that was sent over the network, for the receiver to know that there is the actual data that was sent, but rather not the packet. I have already explained. So there is an example of data transmission that have been explained as well. So we take email as one of the example of data transmission. So now let's talk about what is called IP addressing system. Okay, so IP addressing system 1 has a unique number assigned to devices, and another type of IP address is IPv4, and we also have IPv6. So let me talk about the IP address. What then is an IP address? As we all can see here, we say it's a unique number that's assigned to devices. So let's say let me use this example. Assuming you want to send a letter to your friend's house, first of all you need to also include the address of your friend's house number or your friend's house address, so that the letter will be able to read that destination without any confusion as well. So that's how the IP address works